everyone, welcome back. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. Beattie's here, MBE. Beattie MBE, let's not forget it. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good. So, you've just announced retirement, 144 caps, 26 goals. We'll get into the past, but for right now, how are you feeling? What's in your mind?
It's good, it's overwhelming. It's nice, I guess, it's been on my mind for a while, so I guess it's nice just chatting through it with everyone today and it becoming, I guess, public knowledge.
Yeah. And what's your earliest footballing memory?
Wow, young. I just remember absolutely loving playing school playground stuff, like with the boys. Was lucky enough that one of my best mates, Sophie, joined the boys football team with me at school. She actually went on to play hockey for Scotland. But yeah, just enjoyed playing playground stuff with all the lads, and they're still some of my best mates now, so it was good fun.
Yeah. And obviously growing up in a sporting family, some would say. What was that like? Did you ever feel any kind of pressure to be on your top performance all the time, or is that already just instilled in you from playing at high levels?
No, I actually didn't. I always feel so lucky that, of course, it was a really sporty family, and my brother and my dad were heavily involved with rugby, played for Scotland, but never felt any pressure. I don't know if it was because I maybe played a different sport, obviously into football, but yeah, never had the sort of pressure parents or, pushy parents that were kind of forcing me to do X, Y and Z. It was always just super supportive and yeah, the best advice growing up, so it was class.
Yeah. And jumping to your first call up, set the scene for us. Where were you? What did you do? Everything.
I remember in those days it was a letter, which is actually quite funny looking back, like proper old school. Got a letter, my school got sent a letter because I would have been a kid. I was like 13, 14, being called up for like under 17s, under 19s. And just remember crying. I was like, I never just had any expectation when I was a kid playing football. I knew I absolutely loved it, but had never expectation on what the journey was going to play out to be. And yeah, so overwhelmed, shed a lot of tears, and yeah, I was just buzzing, to be honest. And
then your first senior call up, what was that like? Was it a similar reaction? How did you find out that one? Was it also a letter?
No, I think the head coach, Anna Signol, called me. Again, I was still so young. I was like 16, 17, so it was kind of young, I guess, to be called up into a senior squad, but I remember being quite overwhelmed because it was obviously like adults, It was like, you're in with the big kids now. Like, that's when it got serious, and learnt very quickly how to train professionally and be professional. So it was, I was small fish, big pond, like for sure, but like loved it. Overwhelming, but loved it.
Yeah, and speaking of big kids, was there anyone that your first day of camp you walked in and you were like, oh my gosh, like, I'm your biggest fan? Was there any fangirl moments? Was there anyone who you idolised big 100%.
Time? I specifically remember going to watch the A squads play. I can't remember where they were playing, but I asked for Julie Fleeting's autograph, and I had my iPod cover, and she signed my iPod cover. So when I got called into them, I was just in awe of her. She had the most unbelievable caps to goal ratio. She was just like the icon of Scottish women's football. She was the first player to go and play like in America professionally. Like, if you wanted to play football for Scotland, you wanted to be Julie Fleeting. She was just like unbelievable player, and she was amazing with me when I first got called up. I remember like sitting chatting with her and just thinking, you're pretty much my hero. Like, how am I on the same team with you? Like, it was bizarre, but yeah, she was cool.
And I want to talk about the 2019 World Cup, but before we get into the full World Cup, Parc de Princes, when I say that to you, what comes to mind?
Wow, yeah, total roller coaster of emotions that game. Scored, which was 100% one of my favourite memories in a Scotland shirt, but I think it just comes with so many other emotions that were like, we got knocked out of the tournament that day, and it was annoying because we were in full control of the game, and it just flipped on its head, which is how like cruel, I guess, football can be. But I still have, my mates were in the crowd scoring in front of them, and on the same pitch as my dad, that he scored a try for Scotland. It was just one of those bizarre things that you never ever think there's going to be a correlation between the two. And yeah, unbelievable memory, but bizarre game, and like ended in heartbreak really, which is quite sad. Yeah, it was horrible.
And just talking the World Cup, what was that experience like when you qualified? The moment that the whistle blew and you qualified for the first World Cup, what?
Yeah, like it was amazing. I think like people don't really understand the context around it as well. Like, we'd qualified for the Euros 2017, sort of 2 years prior, and I missed out on the actual tournament through injury. So to then qualify for the 2019 World Cup and actually get there, I was just like beyond buzzing to actually, one, have qualified, but be there and not miss out through injury. So it was just incredible. It was the first World Cup as a women's team, and it was just amazing to be able to represent your country at a World Cup, and you know, memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, 15 years international career, not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying so myself. I mean, not like I played professional, but I know it's not bad. Is there any memory that really, really sticks out to you? Something that still gives you like goosebumps to this day when you think about it?
Definitely the qualification moments, both of them. I think for the first ever, probably the first ever one, the qualifying for the Euros, because you could just see how much it meant, not just to like myself, but the older players, the senior players that kind of been around the squad for longer than me, obviously, and been in it for so many years and gone through so many playoffs and the heartbreak and not getting to a tournament. So to be pretty young really and experience that with the older seniors was amazing. That was probably not, because it was the first ever tournament for the women's team to go to.
Yeah, and like earlier you said you've been thinking about it for a while, it's been on your mind to retire, but
Yeah.
what was it for you that really solidified the choice? Because it's a big one to make. Like.
Yeah, look, I think not qualifying for this World Cup in summer, I think obviously I would have pushed to be available for selection and to be playing and to be fit, and of course I'd want to go to a World Cup, but I think the next major tournament I'd been 34 and I just didn't plan on being still playing international football at that point, so just felt like now was the right time to kind of, whilst I'm still at Arsenal, enjoy club football. I still want to play obviously a number of more seasons at club and just focus on other stuff, use the international breaks to kind of apply myself in different areas and enjoy other aspects of life.
Yeah, and if you could give any advice to your younger self or any young girls out there who want to do exactly what you've done and have your level of success, what would that be?
I think take as much advice as possible. I think one thing I've always done is looked up to seniors and asked them questions. I've always, even Kim Little retiring last year, was always picking her brain about why and what was the best steps. Got other teammates in the game like Jill Scott, like asking as much advice as possible. Surround yourself with good people. I think that's ultimately, I've still got some of my best mates that were so supportive of me as when I was a kid and now, so surround yourself with good people and take as much advice as possible.
That is all from us today. Thank you for tuning in. Jen, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you all soon.